Before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. So 2 callous thugs who dabbled in the sales of Class A drugs have finally been jailed for the murder of 18-year-old Cameron Murfitt. Now this murder was plain wicked and cruel even. I mean, he was an 18-year-old innocent teenager who had his whole life in front of him, and it was cut short due to the stupid actions of these 2 men. So the 2 men, 18-year-old Mason Bridle from Lewisham and 23-year-old Mario Gruda, were travelling in a stolen Lexus, and for some bizarre reason they decided to deliberately turn their stolen car into the 18-year-old Cameron Murfitt. And once the victim was knocked down off his motorbike, the older male of the duo, Mario Gruda, whom should have known better because he's 23 years old, then decided to get out of the car and stab the teenager several times before leaving him bleeding out in the London streets to die. Now this was not an accident. It was clear that this was an executed plan with every intent to cause death. Neither did they care that they executed this pointless attack in broad daylight in the view of men, women and children. Also, neither did they care that they even left an 18-year-old boy to die in the streets in front of onlookers in the busy southeast London area in March of last year. Now, despite the fact that 18-year-old Cameron Murfitt was stabbed multiple times, it was the stab wound to the thigh that proved most fatal. The callous murderers were both Class A drug dealers, and the fact that the murder was intentional, the murder could have potentially played a role in their occupation, i.e. drug dealing, mainly competition or stupid beef over social media or being associated with the wrong people or even being a rival. Whatever the reason, it really does not matter. What actually matters is that a person lost their life in the most heinous way in front of witnesses, and because of that, he will not be coming home ever again to his parents. Again, once the killers stabbed their victim multiple times and left him dying, they got back into the stolen Lexus and continued on their journey, while members of the public tended to Cameron's severe wounds until emergency services arrived, and unfortunately, the 18-year-old died at the scene. Now initially, both men, Mason Bridle and Mario Gruda, pleaded not guilty to the murder. In fact, they denied all offences of even being at the scene of the crime, which was Academy Road, Woolwich, at the junction of Shooters Hill. However, Bridle of Lewisham was found guilty of murder after a trial at Woolwich Crown Court, while Gruda was found guilty of a lesser offence of manslaughter. Now, for their crimes, Bridle was sentenced to detention for life with a minimum term set at 16 years. The older murderer, Gruda, was sentenced to a minimum term of 14 years. As for the victim's family, they will have to live with a huge void in their life, all because these 2 guys decided that they wanted to end somebody else's life. Now, 18-year-old Cameron Murfitt will never be able to start a family, see the UK finally leave this pandemic behind us, or watch Brentford be promoted to the Premiership. All I can say is condolences to his family and friends. Stay safe.